Kamala Harris raises $200 million in a first week of presidential campaign, okay? The stories that came out in the last week, because we haven't done a podcast for 4 or 5 days. So $200 million first week. Well, the Time magazine comes out, story saying Kamala Harris was never the border czar. And here's what she really did. Bernie Sanders comes out and talks about the stark warning of Kamala Harris. I mean, all these stories you keep hearing about, is that her position still right now or not, you know, on defunding the police? She's now being questioned. At the same time, she's at the Olympics. She's all over the place. People are promoting her. People are marketing her. People are putting her out there. And even this guy that we had on the podcast 2 years ago, the guy that makes predictions,
Alan Lichtman.
Yeah. Alan Lichtman. Is there a video of him? Here's this guy's undefeated on making predictions on who wins the presidency. And we had him on. And he ended up being right because he said Biden was going to win. And Biden ended up winning. And watch what this guy says here. Go ahead.
I'll tell you exactly where we stand, even though I'm not going to make a final prediction until the Democratic convention. Under my 13-key system, which probes the strength and performance of the White House party, how elections really work, if 6 or more of my keys fall against the White House party, they're predicted losers, otherwise a predicted winner. Right now with Harris, the Democrats are down 3 keys. My mandate key, because they lost House seats in 2022 in the U.S. House. Incumbency, because it's an open seat. And incumbent charisma, because Harris is not an FDR. That means 3 more keys would have to fall to predict their defeat. It's possible, but a lot would have to go wrong for Harris to lose. So what are the 4 keys your viewers should be looking at? Third party. Will RFK Jr. stabilize at least 10% in the polls? It's the only time I have to use the polls. I have nothing else. I think that's unlikely. Social unrest. Will there be a huge outburst of social unrest at the Democratic convention like we saw in the riots of '68? I don't think so, but it's possible. And the 2 shakiest keys, foreign/military failure and foreign/military success. So a lot would have to go wrong for Harris and the Democrats to lose 3 of those 4 keys.
Let me say this. Here's what he said. A lot has to go wrong for Kamala Harris to lose. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think everybody is underestimating the enthusiasm and the bounce that's happening subtly in some polls. Remember, this is all about battleground states, specifically Pennsylvania. There is no way for the Dems to win without Pennsylvania. You look at all of the states that are leaning way too far blue and red. You add those up, and they must win Pennsylvania. So you just look at that. And right now we're seeing the women vote like move a little bit, more than a little bit. And so anybody that doesn't think, everybody thinks this is a layup or doesn't think that this is a real intense campaign here is not paying attention. She is a formidable candidate for the weaker independent American voters that are rolling on identity and perception. You better take her seriously, not to the point you say, wow, she's a wonderful intellect. No, my opinion doesn't change on that. But I take her very seriously as a political opponent and candidate.
Yeah, Rob, can you go up to Twitter? I put a tweet the other day that got a couple million views, and it's called Unsolicited Advice to President Trump. Now, you know, we all love unsolicited advice.
I love
There's
it.
nothing more exciting than unsolicited advice. So let me just show this to you, and you can take it whatever you want. So, number 1, Kamala is formidable, but she's not in your league. Her biggest strength is an entire establishment behind her, but that alone can't beat you. However, agitation is their strategy. They hated how calm and cool you were with your speech at RNC. It was emotional. You captivated not just Americans, but the world. They don't know how to beat Trump. They know how to beat the agitator Trump. Stay focused on politics. 2016 campaign was about being the underdog. You know how to win as an underdog. Some may even say it's impossible to beat you as an underdog mentality. The favorite mentality sometimes paints you as a bully. Bullying can work when going against a bully, Biden, but Kamala is like a featherweight fighting a heavyweight, you. Fighting too aggressive can come across as a bully. You're above that. 4, lead with your track record. What you did with your 1 term was historic. Great policies that energize the nation and scare the hell out of our enemies. Great policies that helped everyone, blacks, whites, Hispanics, married or single, young or old. Stay focused on driving with your policies and initiatives. Number 5, you're one of one. There's never been one like you as a president who's won in 3 different very competitive climates. You're what I call a trifecta. You won in real estate in New York. You won in the entertainment industry with Apprentice, 15 years. You won in politics being a president. Americans know that. But your voters and even more, your enemies know that. Your enemies secretly envy you for being a trifecta. Let your base and voters point this out while you focus on unified. 6, you don't need to fight all the fights. 95% of fights can be won by your generals and your representative. You have formidable generals who are strong. Let them do the day-to-day fight. Focus on a bigger picture. Choose your enemies wisely. Small thinking, those who apologize for America's greatness, outside countries who are trying to divide America. Sell the American dream, financial freedom, retirement with dignity, building great memories with kids, grandkids, family, leaving a legacy behind, security, safety, building a small business as big as you want or as small as you want, regardless of your skin color, et cetera, et cetera. And 9, you were an inch away from meeting your creator. He's truly given you another chance. I don't think it's because he wants you to make another billion or another hit TV show or another hole-in-one, but maybe because he wants to use you as a way to show that everyone can change. You can be a leader to challenge and unify the reasonable Americans. Not all, that's not possible, but the majority of people are reasonable and are willing to support you. Trust in God. Sometimes we choose to change intentionally. Most of the times we change due to a life-changing event. If we consider the life-changing event a possible method of how God communicates with us to change, then it's on us to trust him. In closing, nothing can be more annoying than unsolicited advice. Either way, future looks bright. Adam, thoughts on Kamala and thoughts on the way he is approaching Kamala week 1 after the announcement?
So you're absolutely on point. And whether it's unsolicited or not, Trump should listen. And he should also listen to the segment that you did yesterday on Jesse Waters, because that was incredible.
Clinic.
Because it's coming out of a place of, I can help you, help me help you. So here's what we've learned in the last few weeks with Kamala. All the Republicans that were calling on Biden to step down, he's inept, we can't have this guy here. And now they're actually double downing, saying that he should step down, he shouldn't be president anymore, step down. Guys, be careful what you're doing out there. All you're doing is empowering Kamala. You keep piling on how weak of a candidate Joe Biden was. Well, now you have at least a young, fresher candidate to run against. At this point, apparently the polls are neck and neck now. Now, I don't know where the swing states are, but you're absolutely right. Kamala is not in Trump's league. But when you're putting in the DEI, woke, feminist, drag, you see her, she came out and did her announcement on RuPaul's drag show. Yeah. Don't underestimate just how many women will fall for this stuff. You talked about how many like white women are
I'm going to show that video.
Advocating for Kamala now. Yeah. There's also another thing about white men. So follow the money. How much money has she raised? $200 million in the last week or so, in the first day, I want to say. So Republicans, that's that. The number of Americans, so here's another story, another number of Americans, we'll get that video read. Number of Americans who say that U.S. is ready for a female president is actually dipping. The New York Times YouGov reveals that 54% of Americans say they are ready for a female president, a decline of 9 points since 2015. So who was running in 2015? Hillary Clinton. So here's my opinion. Take it down, take it not. Is America ready for a female president? Yes. Is America ready for this female president? Absolutely not. So Trump has to take your advice, play it cool, calm, collected. I just don't know if he's going to do that.
We can all hope and pray, but you've been talking about the magic trick, Pat, when you're like, hey, everybody, look it over here, and you're doing this. This whole campaign is going to be race, but it's about the black woman, and I want people at home, don't fall for this, hey, she's a woman of color, and think of the policies, exactly where you are today, and how bad the situation is in this country. It's going to keep going, and it's going to get worse. And the team that they're putting, listen, this whole movement, Adam nailed it, the RuPaul, the LGBTQ, the women. There's a former teacher, Rob has this video, Miss Frazzled. Now, for anybody that's home that's eating or eating yogurt or something, I don't want you guys to vomit.
What is this?
Because this is cringe, Pat. So she's on, this is White Women for Kamala Harris, and this is the Miss Frazzled, and she's saying that white women should not correct people of color and need to check their privilege. She goes on and basically calls white women to bow down to BIPOC. If you guys have, I thought it was Tupac. BIPOC is black, indigenous, and other people of color. She's warning them in the Zoom not to be those people towards the BIPOCs.
Who's she talking to?
She's on the Zoom for White Women for Kamala.
Go ahead, Rob.
This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other.
This is her with 100,000 other white women.
There's a bunch of
encouraging
Yeah,
them.
but get to the point with the BIPOC
to make
stuff.
positive
It's 2 minutes. I don't have time to
If
listen
you
to
find
this.
yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid,
What is
correcting
BIPOC,
them,
Vinny?
just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on. So
You can
do
stop.
Yeah,
learn.
black-
Yeah, she's going to say white
Black,
privilege.
indigenous, and other people of color. She's basically saying, listen, while we're on this campaign and you're trying to help, don't just know that you're white and use your privilege to, if anybody of any color says anything, shut up because you're racist. This whole campaign
What's
is going to
this
be about
other
race.
clip that they have that one of the super PACs made?
Oh God!
that you guys were talking about
this one's
one.
This is a
Play 30 seconds of this. This is a super PAC of Kamala made this video.
Pro Kamala PAC, and this is by the way, guys, this is real PBD. This isn't a joke. This isn't a parody. This is a pro Kamala PAC.
Go ahead. Let's see how.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
That's just the start.
If Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true. You can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November. We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.
But
It's
by the way,
disgusting.
Coelho, can we just say one thing?
It's absolutely
That's
disgusting.
what they think, that MAGA Republicans are white, sweaty, herpy-lipped, by the way, those are all Democratic actors, by the way. But that's what they think that you are, and that works because people are watching that video.
Rob, I sent you another video that if you can pull that up. But to me, it's so apparent and it's so disgusting, and it's such a divergent of what the Democratic Party used to be. And this is why the average voter out there, whether you're independent, you're a moderate, you're not going to put up with this identity politics, pro-LGBT woke agenda. And if Trump just stays focused on the economy, the cost of living, the border.
It's too long. I can't play this song. You
This
can
is
tell me
30
what
seconds.
it is. No, it's buck 54.
No, just play the first 30 seconds. This, I feel like there's a lot of people with common sense that think exactly like this guy.
Yeah, this message is to all you Trump supporters, all you MAGA people. I have one thing to say to you. I'm sorry. Sorry that I bought into all the bullshit that the media was feeding to me for all those years. Sorry for thinking that you guys were the enemy, when really you are trying to protect this country. The past 3 years, the past 4 years have been horrific. You can't buy food. Gas prices are ridiculous. And our cities are looking like fucking slums. Elect Kamala Harris, who's actually in charge of the border now. Yeah, no, sorry. I voted
Listen
into
to the
all
one
the
part
bullshit.
what he says about the gay thing right here.
Not this time.
As
Another
a gay
thing.
Man, here, right here.
As a gay man, I'm over this fucking gay woke agenda bullshit, because that's not what the gay community is. Sorry, it is not. What they're pushing on TV is some sadistic shit. And as somebody who has a nephew who's in kindergarten, the last thing I want is for my nephew to think that if you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, good, Rob. So I think there's a lot of people out there that actually think like this.
Hopefully they vote.
By the way, do you know who actually falls into that camp of like, yeah, I thought this, but now I think totally opposite? JD Vance. So I don't know what, if we want to open up that can of worms. There's a lot of people that fell for the media's lies in 2016 and basically saw for themselves, you know what you can't lie to? People's eyes and experience. And they've been seeing what's going on here and the lies that the media has told. And it turns out, yeah, maybe we should have built that wall.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it turns out that the whole Russia collusion thing was fake. Maybe it turns out like, hey, the gay marriage LGBT thing went a little too far.
Yeah, too many
There's
letters.
a lot of people that are basically saying, yeah, it was kind of, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So to me, it's sort of disgusting that Kamala Harris goes on RuPaul to announce her candidacy to the LGBTQ thing.
Yeah.
It's just sort of lockstep with the Olympic thing. And it's going to take the reality is this: who's going to win the independent, moderate female vote?
Yeah.
Because if you can win that vote, Trump will win. If they all go to Kamala, it's going to not be pretty.
And Adam, it still comes down to, are their votes going to actually count? Are the illegal votes going to be the thing to push them over that? Bro, and you guys nailed it. Don't underestimate her, but it's the system that's behind her. There's 20 million illegals that are going to be in here by November, and there's already mad reports of people at DMVs. Even Humberto told me, Peter, he went to go get a driver's license or something, and he went to go there to register, and he's like, here's my ID. Like, oh, we don't even need it. They don't want your ID to vote, and that's gonna be that's gonna be the problem. Is if the fix is in. If you want to be honest with each other, and people are like the swing states in the middles. No, it's the illegals that are voting.
Tom, do you have anything to say? Or?
This is why it is so important to be a rational player on social media and in your community, and do three things. Encourage people to get registered to vote if they're not registered already. Encourage your friends to vote. Be part of helping elderly people in your community to get their absentee ballot and to vote, and to be part of the process, and to be a rational player promoting things you know to be true and the rational things that this country was founded on. And and don't get caught up in the polling. Like 77% of people believe the country's ready for a woman president. The issue with polls like that is everybody thinks you're talking about Kamala, so you're not really getting rational poll answers. And a lot of the polling you see out there on these random issues, I just filter that out and take a look at what America do you want? The one that you've had 4 years of, or a different one that you know what he stands for, you know what he did before, and you know what he's going to do for the economy and immigration. But which America do you want?
Yeah, and if I was Trump, you know what I would do, and I know we want to move on. The day of if I win, right before I get inaugurated, I would identify like transgender as a woman and just ruin that for everybody. I'd be like, I'm the first woman president. Done deal. Bye. Let's get that out of the way.
Just start identifying as a female. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
So I got an update for you. Today at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm running this webinar, free webinar called the AI Revolution. This thing is it only limits, we upped it from 3,000 to 5,000. It only limits 5,000 people to be on. 20,000 people have already registered to get on. That's the QR code. You will all get a 30-page white paper that we've put together. We put 300 hours into this. On top of that, I will be announcing 3 new speakers that will be at the Vol Conference at the end of this webinar.
Nice.
The only way you get this white paper is by you being on this webinar. The QR code right there is for you to get registered for it. Go out there and register, but there's a couple other things I want you to do. Register, and at the same time, once your name is in there, go on your phone and add it to your calendar. Reminder, not at 6:00, 5:45 with a 15-minute reminder, because I know exactly what happens when we do these. While we go live, we're going to get thousands of emails of people saying can't get on, and it's because it's only limited to 5,000 people to get on. That is intentional. That's the QR code. Get registered. We have a lot to talk about. It breaks down every single time we went through a certain industrial revolution, things that changed, what the fears were, what industries were disrupted, how many millions of jobs were lost in a certain sector, and how the same thing is happening with AI. But if you don't know how to prepare for it, you're going to take a hit. Whether you're an employee, entrepreneur, executive, this is the webinar for you. Go to that QR code, get registered. We'll have that tonight. Again, 6 o'clock, Tuesday, July 30th, Eastern Standard Time.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.